Stugotz here for Dollar Shave Club. We're all members here on the show. We swear by Dollar Shave Club. I love all their products. I really do. The 6-blade executive razor, the best razor I've ever used. Love that shave butter. They have other products as well, man. They have toothpaste. They have toothbrushes. They have shampoo. They have it all. It's Dollar Shave Club. It's how I get ready, but you're not me. You have your own way to get ready. You might shave your whole body to get ready for a bike race. Dollar Shave Club's executive razor and shave butter can help. You might do your hair to get ready for your soccer match. Mike does. Boogies by DSC can help you get your style right. The thing is, no matter what you do to get ready, DSC has everything you need. And right now, you can get ready with an amazing deal on any one of their starter sets. I recommend the Daily Essentials starter set because I love the Amber Lavender Body Cleanser, but you can't go wrong with any of them. Head on over to dollarshaveclub.com/Dan to pick your own DSC starter set for just $5. After your starter set, products ship at regular price, and make sure you check out their new video too. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Dan, dollarshaveclub.com/Dan.
Hello, everybody. You're looking live at Fansville, a college football utopia.
Fansville.
Where the rivers flow with ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Delicious.
Where every day is Saturday, and everyone's a fan. Even babies.
Fan babies.
And the seasons never change, because the only season is college football season. Get a taste of Fansville this fall during a college football game near you. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Grab some today.
This is the best of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
All right, so welcome back from vacation. I am greeted by total incompetence on every level at ESPN. So let's see if we can do a little bit better. These people get left alone for 5 minutes, everyone bouncing into each other, clucking like chickens. We just had a pregame show on ESPN Ooze where we could not hear Stugotz at all. They forgot how to transmit sound here at the worldwide leader in sports. As our people, did we wake everybody up when we walked in? Like everyone just bounced into each other and they've been sleeping for 3 weeks.
I don't know. It didn't stop me. I kept talking.
So Stugotz just did a pregame show where there was no sound and Mike had to run in here to be a mime. This is what ESPN has signed up for contractually for the next 4 years. This kind of incompetence. We've got a Predator premiere that I want to do and get started right now, locally and nationally, because our sales staff in Miami stinks. They got to get better. Radio sales are terrible. Terrible. And I've wanted the management style around here is always just hope Dan forgets. I want to do a Predator premiere with Miami on this movie, and I would like us to get restarted there. Thanks for doing all you guys did while I was on vacation on this. The other thing that we've got in play, we've got the Sueys today. The Sueys start. It's the most fun we have. They're going to be amazing. But before we get to anything, and I've got notes from 3 weeks off. I've got notes.
Wow, weekend observations?
Stugotz has weekend observations that are meant to just catch me up because they know I've been in Africa and I don't know anything about what's going on in sports. Haven't been paying any attention whatsoever. They don't care so much about Urban Meyer in Africa. So Stugotz is, with his weekend observations, going to get me caught up.
Yes, yeah.
But the first thing we're going to do is Roy and Chris are going to race because we had a dispute break out during the local hour. And I don't know, Roy hasn't participated in many of these athletic endeavors, but when Roy got to a baseball field, he hit a home run out of Marlins Park. Surprised us all. When Roy won the Ninja Challenge that we did, he got further than everyone else. Roy fancies himself the best athlete on this show, and we are saying that Fat Chris is the best athlete on this show. The son of Greg Cody, he's practically a scratch golfer, right?
He is. I would say Chris is a scratch golfer. We played on Saturday. The Codys won. The Codys were fantastic. We all had a great time. On my best day, Chris Cody is better than me. Like, on my best day.
That is not an admission Stugotz makes lightly. Stugotz thinks he's better at everything than everyone. He's got what is that called?
You're asking me?
Dunning-Kruger?
Dunning-Kruger, yes, where he thinks he's better at everything than he actually is. Thank you. I've been getting it wrong for 10 years. All right, get out there, boys. Let's go. I will set this up. Chris, what do you think's going to happen here? Because Chris and Roy are going to race. Roy is saying, I'm faster than Chris, I promise you, because Chris is fat. And Roy has said, I'm going to do this in jeans and Timberlands.
I'm going to smoke him.
Roy, he's younger than you are, and Fat Chris has been a surprise athlete around here in a number of different ways. I think he's the best baseball player here. He played in high school. He gave us the scouting report.
Yep. So did I, Dan. I played baseball as well.
Wow. Hit a home run. I mean, he did. Marlins Park. I mean,
Long time ago.
yeah.
What are the betting odds? Mike, what should the betting odds on this be?
I got Chris at minus 250.
Wow.
Yeah, minus 250 because Chris time and time again has proven that he could rise up to the occasion, and you're wearing jeans and Timberlands.
He really surprised everyone on Saturday. He didn't surprise me. I knew Chris was a good golfer. Plus, if you played baseball, that's an advantage. So he didn't surprise me. I'm telling you, everyone else was floored.
Well, Billy, hold on. Let's backtrack for a second. The last time we raced, this is what happened. Billy won the race and looked like a superhero at the end. He surprised everybody. Amin El Hassan was pathetic. And so there's a picture floating around that has created a Guillermo mafia of people who root for Guillermo because he turns into a superhero. He looks like Clark Kent, and over that finish line, he looked amazingly muscular and masculine.
That's the image that history remembers. However, we did a race after that, and Chris Cody got out there, and he dusted Amin and
correct.
Billy.
And Billy.
But there's a different length to that race, and I had already raced twice before. There's an asterisk there.
Billy,
at best.
were you surprised when Fat Chris hunted you down from behind?
Oh, no, because I saw how much he beat Amin by, and I said, I'm not going to be able to catch him.
Okay, so when you heard the lumbering, freckled breath of Fat Chris behind you.
Oh, it wasn't behind me. I never caught up to him. His advantage, he gets out of the gate fast.
Okay.
Fast.
Roy, you're confident here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because visually we've got something here that is going to blow America's stereotypical mind.
Roy, you need to get a good start. I'm telling you, Chris gets out of there quick, and he is hard to catch up to.
Problem.
Roy, listen to me. This is about race in more ways than one.
Oh, really? Or I'm doing okay.
You are running on behalf of a people here, Roy. Do not shame anyone by losing to the fat, freckled Cody kid who, on top of everything else, is a ginger.
Don't do it. Listen, Dan.
I'm just telling you, this is important. What we're about to do out here right now is important. These are trying times in America where there's a lot of racial disharmony. Black people could use a victory. We're throwing out there a fat, freckled sloth. Be a symbolic sports victory on behalf of your people, Roy.
All day, every day, no problem.
Okay. Get out there. Let's go. We're going to do this.
Exciting,
We're
man.
going to do this because visually here, if you were taking odds on a race, no one would bet Fat Chris. Look at him. He looks like something that Jeff Foxworthy wouldn't hang out with on his drunken step.
Are you saying I can get Roy right now at plus 250? What are we doing here? Because I think that's good value. I do. I think it's good value.
We're taking Chris's reputation, and we have these results. Chris is the fastest of the shipping containers so far.
You guys think the favorite in this race should be Chris Cody over Roy Bellamy?
Well, Mike is saying that. I think Chris will win, but setting it at minus 250. I mean, Roy has a chance here.
Roy's wearing Timberlands and jeans.
That's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt. This is going to be.
But Chris
the
is
excuse.
fat. I mean,
that's going to hurt him.
Fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Chris is just aerodynamic. Honestly, he cuts through that wind at almost unprecedented levels. He's one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. Radio division.
Okay. Yes. All right. So I got all these things to get to. When do you want to get to the Sueys? When do you want to get to your weekend observations? I know Stugotz gassed up after vacation. Is going to have all sorts of stuff, even though he was back last week.
I think the weekend observations should be ready by 10:30 if you want to do those then. And then as far as the Sueys are concerned, I mean, that's up to Mike. That's
Let
up
us
to Mike.
premiere our first Suey. We're going to come out the box strong with best musical performance of the Dan Le Batard Show season.
Nice.
We got the Dan Le Batard Show's year essentially starts football time. So it's from football to the next time football starts back up. And this is the start of a new year. As we start the new year, we're going to relive the greatest moments from last year.
And when are we going to do that? How long is that? Do you want to do that musical category next? You want to do the race here and then the musical category?
We're going to hold on to these, build these up a little bit. 11 o'clock Eastern time, 11 a.m. We're going to debut the first Suey of the year, best musical performance, and we hope to close out this segment with the race.
Okay. That is as much fun as we have every year is the Sueys, where we're just sort of getting nostalgic about all the goofy and dumb stuff that happened over the course of the year. But let's go out. Is there anyone with Fat Chris and Roy? Are the cameras of ESPN Ooze now on Chris and Roy as we get ready to start this race? Because I do think it would be decent to tease this into the next segment if they're not quite ready just yet.
Okay, then let's tease it to the next segment. Our stage director, Danny, is walking out there, and Chris and Roy appear to be getting into position as they're framing the shot for this race.
Is our stage director, Danny, responsible for the initial incompetence today on our show where Stugotz couldn't be heard talking into a television microphone?
100%.
Okay, very good. So I'm good. I'm glad that Danny's in charge of this over there. Because
People have been on vacation for a while. You're asking a lot out of the gates. They should be ready and refreshed.
Really?
With you.
I'm asking a lot out of the gate to have the sound on when we get back from vacation. That's too much of an ass. So Roy is stretching. Oh, Fat Chris has got those calves on the wall. All right, let's do this next segment. They are prepared. We will tease to the next segment. We have a historic race that is symbolically about race next.
Dan Le Batard.
Oscar Robinson had 41 triple-doubles back in 61-62. 41.
Stugotz.
It's Robertson, but
Big O.
Okay, but
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
all right, I have to set this up. We just came back from vacation, and I put Mike Ryan in a terrible position here, just terrible, because Mike Ryan, he's just acting out on orders, and we've been told to stop with the races.
We set the over-under, just so you know, last week at 5 minutes as far as how long it would take you to put Mike in a terrible position.
Well, I'm going to put him in a few today because we're going after Wilbon later in the show because I read some stuff while I was away that got back to me in Africa, and we've got to reveal that Wilbon information that makes him look bad here at some point in the show. So we've got a list of things to get to that'll get Mike into bad positions. But so Mike was told not to do the races anymore, and I'm like, why? What difference does it make? What's the matter here? Like, come on, it's just on the street, whatever. So I'll deal with the consequences of that as we bump up against management. Mike, I'm sorry I did this to you. I want publicly to acknowledge Mike tried to stop me, and I blew through that gate, and I'm like, we're doing the races. This is too important. We've got symbolic stuff happening. Stugotz is saying this is like watching Mike Golick in his prime beat Mike Quick in a race.
Yes.
What we have happening visually here during a difficult time in America in race relations is we've got a black guy who says he is going to dust the fat freckled guy who's also a ginger in a race.
Yeah.
Billy, you are out there. What is the tension? What is the general mood? You're going to give us play-by-play on this race. Are you at the finish line?
Hey, it's Billy. Yeah, I'm outside. There's onlookers aplenty, as you can see. Bit of a tricky course today. There's a curve at the start, which could throw some things off.
Ooh.
There's trees and trucks in the way, but we've cleared those out. So hopefully, nice little day today, nice little race. There's some sort of construction vehicle. I really hope that thing doesn't come over here because I'm not going to tell that guy to move.
You cleared a tree out?
Well, yeah, we had to set back the starting point because for whatever reason we were starting behind a tree and then there was a truck in the way. But all those people are clear. There's two people walking with rolling luggage, and I think we're ready to go. Whenever.
All right. Well, let's see here. Then let's set this up. Are there betting odds? Who do you guys? Are all of us underestimating the black man? All of us, because he should be a favorite. I feel like just based on Roy's athletic accomplishments during the history of this show and at the American Ninja Warrior where he did more obstacles than anybody.
I'm telling you, what I saw to Chris on Saturday has changed my entire opinion of Chris. Seriously. So I'm going to take Fat Chris here. I am. I mean, he's the best athlete amongst us. He really is.
I'm done underestimating what Chris Cody can do
I'm done.
in athletics.
All right, Billy, do me a favor here. Just jog down there real quick. I'd like a little sideline interview here before we get started. I just want to see the confidence level. Thank you. The confidence level of these two guys here, because Chris is very confident, Stugotz. Now onlookers are gathering. Now everyone's coming over from because we're a very big radio show because we do stuff like this, zany antics that have all sorts of liability.
Dan wants to know what level of confidence you guys have going into this.
No, hold on. One at a time. First off, do an interview with
pre-race interview, one at a time.
One at a time.
All right.
Interview Chris first, please.
Hey, Chris. It's Billy, ESPN. Are you confident about this race today?
10 out of 10. I'm winning.
Wow. 10 out of 10.
Wow.
That was Chris Cody, race participant. He's in the red shirt.
Okay.
Hi, Roy. Billy Gill, ESPN.
How you doing, Billy?
Roy, how confident are you about this race today?
100%. Let's get this done.
Even in your jeans and your boots. That's not been mentioned. The media's not talking about the the race attire you have on today. Do you feel like that's going to be a hindrance of any kind?
No problem.
Okay,
Wow.
here we
There you
go.
You
All
heard
right.
it from them.
All right, he's got a built-in excuse. You're a terrible sideline reporter. Give me $2 when you get back. Go back to the finish line.
I'm walking the course. If you guys can see, I'm walking the course. So you guys could see, we do this in all the big races. The journalists walk the course so everybody gets a sense of what's going on here. There's a couple cracks here on the floor, little sand, maybe slippery.
All right,
Getting to
just
the
shut
finish
up,
line
Billy.
here.
I know, but does the guy on the bike, by the way, think he's participating? What is going on
He's
over there?
just an onlooker. We've got onlookers.
there's
All
a
right,
man
get
with a
them
dog.
ready. All right, get them ready. Let's do this.
Do you see the finish line?
Are
Do you
you-
see the finish line?
Are you? The camera will follow you on ESPN Ooze, but you're going to give us the play-by-play. All right, keep in mind, you're a yammering knob, but we're on the radio mostly. Some people are watching this on television. Your play-by-play is going to be the only visual that they have. Okay, can you please be good at this? Because I don't really want to trust you with it.
So I need to be quicker than the last time you trusted me with it.
Yes, I need you to speak and tell us quickly, play-by-play, what is happening in this race, because you're the only way these radio people are going to hear it. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes, we
I'm
are.
going to back up from the line a little bit so that, you can see the finish line clearly. I won't block anything.
And everybody in this room says Chris is going to win. Everyone.
Yep, I'm going Chris.
We actually can see the finish line in the shot. So can you
Hold
stand
on.
near where the finish line is?
All right. Do you see me here?
No, the camera can only go so wide, and they're on our competitors right now. So at least for
All
frame
right,
of
so-
reference, stand near the finish line for the people watching.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand at the finish line, and when they come, I'm going to squat down so you can see who finished.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. Just stop talking.
Yeah, just
Oh, sorry.
and just give the play-by-play and stop yammering. Go ahead. Just
Are you
go
ready
ahead
to
and
go?
start the race. Yes, you are now in charge of the end of this segment.
All right. You guys ready? On your mark. Get set. Go. Oh, false start by Chris.
Really?
I saw Roy take a little jump there, too. I got to be honest. I mean, Roy is rattled. He's rattled. That fat Chris is inside his head, I can tell.
False start.
Now we've switched starting positions, it seems. What's going on here? All right. Are you guys ready again? Oh, wait. There's a bike. Yeah.
This is the seminal
they're
moment
racing.
in American history right here. The fat ginger
All right.
Cody's
Oh,
kid
more people are running. More joggers.
against the
All right.
black man disadvantaged because of jeans and Timberland.
Ready, Dan?
Yes.
All right. On your mark. Get set. No, big false start again.
Come on,
You
man.
need to-
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Go. All right, Dan. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Oh,
All right, here
Roy,
comes
terrible
Chris.
start.
Oh, what a terrible
start.
start
Terrible
by
start for
Roy.
Roy.
Goodness.
Terrible
Oh,
start.
no.
Terrible start.
Oh, no.
Terrible
Oh,
start.
man.
Oh, my God.
Just a terrible
Oh,
start.
my God.
Wow.
Roy was dusted. Are we going to redo that?
I think we have to. I'm still not
You
certain
guys
who's
wanna do this
faster.
again?
Yeah.
All right, do it again. Yeah, there's just
One more time.
There's controversy over
What
the
happened,
start.
Roy? Oh, it was a bad start. Bad start? Was
Right.
it your fault or was it something else?
No, it's your fault from the multiple false starts.
Okay.
Mm.
Already now it's going to be cries
That's
of
fine.
it's
He's
gonna be-
blaming other people.
You know what? It's going to be
Finger
cries
pointing.
of racism after this. Come back next. We're going to try it again next, and we're going to see.
We are?
And we're going to see. We're going to make this. We're going to give the black man another chance.
Dan Le Batard.
America's fastest growing sports show.
Stugotz.
Because when you start from zero and you have one viewer, you're growing fast.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mike, Roy's got to be shook, right? He's got to be shook because again, and Pablo told everyone this. He warned you. He foretold you. He said, Chris, Cody, bat out of hell. He can run. It's like a bat out of hell. And so we put Fat Chris out there, and there's a lot of blubber around that skeleton, but that skeleton can move, man. It can carry that blubber. And now Roy has to be shook.
I wasn't a fan of the excuse Roy gave. I had a bad start because of all the other bad starts. Bad starts are part of the race. This is just a formality because even if Chris Cody started from behind Roy, he still would have beaten him easily. He let up in the
He
end.
smoked him.
It was a
Totally
laugher.
agree. Roy can give him a 5 to 10 yard head start, and Fat Chris would still
Hold
win.
on. Let's do this. How do you guys feel about actually putting Chris at a disadvantage of having to be a couple of steps behind Roy to see if he can chase him down, hunt him like a dog.
I say that we give them one more chance to go even up here, and then if Chris blows him out, and I think Chris will, we have them run it back, okay, with Roy getting a 5-yard head start.
Because you guys didn't feel good. I felt very good after the first race. Chris Cody is clearly faster than Roy Bellamy. Billy, should we give Roy a little bit of a head start?
Hey, it's Billy. Yeah. In the break, Chris Cody was actually very confident and asked me privately if he should give Roy a head start.
Wow.
So I think he's down for that idea.
All right, let's do that. Let's see this. I don't like the symbolism of this, but let's just keep it moving.
Well, does Roy want the head start? I mean, Roy is a prideful man. Does he want the head start?
Does it matter?
I'm going over to the competitors now.
Ask Roy if he wants a head start.
Roy, would you like a head start in this competition? No?
Okay.
Attaboy, Roy. Attaboy.
All right, well, he's just going to get smoked
Chris,
again.
do you want to give Roy a head start?
That sounds fair.
Okay,
Wow.
never. No, Chris.
Wow.
No, Chris. Get on the get even and just smoke him again. Then.
No, you have to start here. Yeah. All right, Chris has been instructed. I will point out that they have switched lanes this race, which may play into the results. Also, there's a bit of a crosswind. So if there's a record set, I don't know that it's going to stand.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification there.
I made my way back to the finish line. I'm going to cross so you guys can see the finish in front of me. All right, you guys ready to do this?
Yep.
All right, you guys ready? On your mark. Get set. Go.
Ooh, Roy got a good start. Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Oh,
Chris
Chris pointed and laughed at some point in this race.
He laughed at him? He laughed.
Chris
He laughed.
pointed and laughed.
Started laughing at him.
Dear God, Roy.
Oh, my God.
Chris trash talked him as he ran by him like Usain Bolt.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. No. No. I mean, that's over. There are no excuses to be made. That would have... Roy's going to have to do it again tomorrow in sneakers and shorts, but Chris is going to smoke him again.
Yeah, he probably will. Let's try the head start. Should we try it again? Let's run it back. A little head start.
What do you think, Mike?
I think a 5-yard head
it's
start.
Proven. Roy just got chased down. Roy got the better start, and Chris chased him down easy.
Guys, we've seen all we need to see.
We don't need it. Bring them back up here, and this is stunning. This is bigger than the 80s hockey team beating the Russians. Whatever. This is bigger than Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. The son of Chris Cody, bloated, freckled ginger.
The son of Greg Cody. That's a fine.
Damn it.
Yep.
The son of Greg Cody, nephew of Dick Cody, a freckled blob of a human being. Just smoked the regal statuesque black man in a race.
Yeah.
These are trying times in America, man.
Stop sleeping on Chris. I'm done.
I'm done sleeping on Chris.
sleeping on
man.
Chris.
I'm
Chris
done.
can do anything he puts his mind to except produce radio
He'd be comfortable to sleep on, though.
and be generally organized. But anything else he puts his mind to, Chris Cody can do it all.
He is such an oaf, and he is clearly the strongest athlete we have around here by leaps and bounds. He would have finished that American Ninja course.
Yeah, Roy wanted to brag. He's like, I finished. Remember, Chris Cody didn't participate. Chris Cody might be in nationals right now, the American Ninja Warrior competition, had he been given a crack.
Hey, this is all about opportunity. I know he got here through nepotism, but the next step, if we could just create an opportunity for him, he could be a heroic Olympic athlete.
I think if given the chance, Chris could possibly win the U.S. Open.
I'm going to petition for him to be a member of the Ryder Cup team.
Same. I mean, after what I saw,
You guys-
I find it hard to imagine there are 10 better golfers on the planet than Chris Cody.
Hold on, he was just launching 300-yard drives?
Dan, it was incredible. Now, listen, calculated error on my part because I knew Chris was good. I didn't know he was this good. But we all play from the white tees. I did that because it was Saturday and the course is very busy, so I wanted to play faster. But Chris playing from the white tees, I mean, it's absurd. It was like a putt-putt course for him. Seriously.
Birdie, par. Ooh, bad hole. Birdie.
And Greg's going to come in here tomorrow and take credit. And I'm telling you right now, Greg Cody did nothing. He did nothing.
All right, the racers are back once again. I mean, if you looked at Fat Chris, you wouldn't understand what's happening around here. It's totally disorienting. We are going to get Fat Chris to play NFL football running back this year. He's going to rush for 1,000 yards. Roy, what happened? He's just faster than you, man. Have you not taken inventory that you're older now, that you're an older man?
I have not. But, I'm not going to give any excuses. He's quick. But again, I got a little handicap here with pants and shoes on.
Agreed. Right. But now you think if you don't have those, because he just simply looked faster than you.
Oh, yeah, I beat him.
You beat him in shorts? All right, we're going to have to do it again tomorrow. Then.
Yeah, let's do this again tomorrow.
All right.
The second race, I'm not going to say on purpose, but I was like, I'm not really worried about the start here.
Right.
It was obvious, Chris.
We know what you did, Chris.
I was watching Roy. He takes so many steps.
It's an inefficient runner.
So I just, I got a little...
That might also be the Timberlands, though. They're heavy.
I got a little chuckle as I passed him.
What, did you point and taunt him? Did you point and taunt him as you ran past?
So many steps. There's like such small steps.
2 times he mocked him. The first time was at the start. He looked at me and he had a big grin on his face because he let Roy get a good start. And then pointed and started laughing at him as he passed him.
This entire thing is your fault. We had to start this race 3 times because of this guy.
Oh, this excuse making.
Right. I mean, you keep blaming everyone, Roy. You're up to $6 worth of fines right now.
A little bit of Stugotz in me, I guess.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying a home for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of people. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about that. They're calling it the power buying process. Here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, your assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. That gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. This is very cool here. First, they'll lock your rate up for 90 days while you shop. Now, here's the best part. If rates go up, your rates stay the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. Either way, you win. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, simple. Go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. Rate Shield approval. Only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
If Mission Impossible's on your television, you're going to watch it for a few minutes. Like, they're all entertaining, although I would say the one that was bad was the one where there were faces being peeled off. I thought that
that's everyone. That's everyone. If you apply that rule, then it's all of them.
The one where it was, but the one where
the Philip Seymour Hoffman one?
The one where everybody was pulling off of their
Are you
face.
out of your mind? Not a single bad moment in any of those movies. Not one.
Stugotz.
You do not have a good movie if you have a movie in which your face is being peeled off as a plot twist.
Did you not like The Mask?
Did you not like The Mask?
That was when Swing was coming back.
Did you not like The Mask?
Do you not like Tex Avery?
Do you not like Cameron Diaz?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Did you guys see how the new Kevin Spacey movie did? When it opened, Kevin Spacey drowning. I don't know what's going to happen to these guys. Is Louis C.K. done? Is Louis C.K. done? Is he going to reemerge at any point to try and do comedy again? Because Kevin Spacey, Billionaire Boys Club movie debuted, and a lot of people aren't going to put Kevin Spacey on television anymore. Not going to put him on in their movie anymore because of things like what I'm about to say.
Right.
It's sold fewer than 20 tickets.
Yeah.
It sold for $126 worth of sales. Billionaire Boys Club with Kevin Spacey.
On its opening day. Is that a worldwide opening?
I mean, it's not in every theater, obviously, but and it's a small opening, but it's because they made a movie with Kevin Spacey, then the scandal came out and they couldn't sell it. So they're like, please, has it been long enough? Please buy. There's the movie. And then no, I guess it hasn't been long enough because I mean, I bet you I could send Stugotz out to the corner right now with his hand out, and he'll come back with more than $126.
Easily. Yep. Want me to try it? You want me to do it? I mean, I could use some extra quiche.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's see if we can break this record here. Stugotz is going to go stand on the corner of 10th and Ocean on Miami Beach And we got his weekend observations. You got to do it in the next 7 minutes.
Well, here's the deal, though. Spacey, that movie was out for an entire day. So you're asking me to get this done in 3 minutes. Spacey had, people at 24 hours. If I stood out there for 24 hours, I'd have $1 million in my pocket.
That's for sure. You'd be able to retire.
I'll go see what I can scratch up downstairs here.
It was in 8 theaters. That's what it got the first day in 8 theaters. The next day made 162. This report that I'm reading was updated the 18th. It's made like $600 total in 11 theaters.
Mike, yes or no? If Stugotz stands down on the corner during the break with his hand out, eventually he'll end up with more than $126, maybe in time for weekend observations in the next segment.
I mean, if you say where he is and you give people enough time, probably.
Now, I need to know the rules, the limitations. What can I say?
You can't ask for anything. We're just going to put you out there with your hand out and see if you can come back with $126.
How much do you think Chris Cody could make if on his phone he showed people the video of his dad after Sandbar? Out on the street.
When Greg Cody fell into the bushes?
Yeah.
Would he be willing to betray his family that way? That for sure would get more than $126.
Do I get to keep the money?
Yes. You'd get to keep the money, but you'd be betraying your father.
We've discussed the idea of setting up a booth in which it's just Chris Cody on the other side of you in this booth after you sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and you just viewing it alone in the booth with Chris Cody, the video of Greg Cody falling into the bush.
All right, we've got Stugotz's weekend observations next, so let's not put this particular pressure right now on Stugotz, but let's figure out before the end of the show how to get 126 to show you how easy it is to make money if you're not a sexual predator in entertainment.
Don Le Batard.
I had a girlfriend, and I created a Facebook account of just a random person, and I requested my girlfriend to see if she would accept.
Wow.
So you catfished your girlfriend?
Yeah, it didn't work. I had a good one.
Did you have a picture?
I just Googled, good-looking model, and it was just a random dude.
Stugotz.
I created a Facebook account of a guy named Jack Ritter, and he was very good looking. She did accept the friend request.
Where did Jack Ritter go to school?
I'm just imagining, you see on the side it says C Cody at FAU.
Oh, no.
How sophisticated?
Burner email, too.
Burner email?
Yeah.
Whoa, what was the burner email?
jritter@gmail.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Time now for Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Vivid Seats. Need game tickets? Find your seats at Vivid Seats, the official ticket partner of ESPN. Enter promo code ESPN at checkout and receive 10% off your order today. Vivid Seats. Dan, the lying, the deception, the cover-ups, the investigations, the press conferences, the apologies for bad press conferences. Dan, college football is back.
Yes!
It's been 3 weeks, and I'm still laughing at Michael Jordan's defense of LeBron James. Patrick Mahomes, better start playing better, or you'll be Patrick Mahomes-less. Mahomes, oh my God, 69-yard dart to Tyreek Hill. Patrick, my Hall of Fame. To the man who left his walker at airport security, then, after being called by security, walked all the way back without his walker to retrieve it, then proceeded to walk back to the gate using his walker and got on the plane first because he had a walker.
Oh.
Sir, the Stugotz is strong in you. Somewhere, Ray Lewis is still delivering his Hall of Fame speech.
Did he cry?
Oh, my, cry. Did he cry? Somewhere, Ray Lewis is still crying and delivering his Hall of Fame speech. The Mets put together a tribute video for Matt Harvey. I didn't see the video, but I'm guessing it showed all the meetings he missed, all the bad headlines, and all the talent being wasted away. NASCAR CEO being arrested for the one thing you can't be arrested for when you are the CEO of NASCAR. NASCAR CEO, whose name I do not know. The Stugotz is strong in you. Whatever happened to Larry Beinfest. Just a thought I had while on vacation.
The former general manager.
Whatever happened to him?
Of the Marlins.
He was an up-and-comer, remember? He's like the next Billy Bean.
This is a thought you had this weekend.
It's a thought I had while on vacation. Remember, I'm covering a month here for you. I did this for you. While on vacation, my wife asked me who Ben Hogan was. As Tariq Cohen would say, oy vey. Did a lot of reading on vacation, up to page 10 of the Andre Agassi autobiography. Great and easy read. Kawhi Leonard penned a letter to the Spurs and their fans. And ironically, it's the most we've ever heard him say. Bomani Jones and Pablo Torre getting paid the same amount while working half the time. Bomani and Pablo, the Stugotz, is strong in you. Heath Evans, do tell, both Saquon Barkley and his thighs will be enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His thighs will go in first. Saquon's bust won't be his face, it will be his thighs. If there was a body part Hall of Fame, Saquon Barkley's thighs would be first ballot. Have fun with that topic, Dano, and you're welcome. The Bengals are still trotting Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton out there. The Red Rifle. Want to know what boring and mediocre at best look like? They look like Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton. Dress rehearsal. Andy Dalton, 11 of 16, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dan, the Bengals are back. Feels like Landry Jones has been Ben Roethlisberger's backup forever. Chad Henne is a Chief. Joe Flacco standing there, holding a clipboard, looking confused. Collision course. Saints, weapons, tons and tons of weapons. C.J. Anderson is a Panther. Chris Ivory is a Bill. L.A. Rams, overrated. Justin Verlander said Kate Upton saved his career. I'm good with that. Matt Barkley is still in the NFL and is a Bengal. Empire Steakhouse. I sat inside your restaurant for 10 minutes and not a single person acknowledged me. So I got up and left. I spent my $300 at Smith & Walensky's. I told them what you did. They laughed, gave me free appetizers, and told me to thank you. So, thank you. Playing with Tiger when he's charging at a major is like being invisible. Doesn't matter who you are, it's like you're not even there. Willie Mays said Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. People who write for a living, they say otherwise. So he's not. How are we doing? New rule. If Willie Mays says you belong in the Hall of Fame, you're in. The Say Hey Kid. Tom Herman denies rumors he tipped off Brett McMurphy. However, if true, oh Tom, the Stugotz is strong in you. Urban Meyer should be arrested for his players getting arrested 31 times while he was the head coach at Florida. There are only a handful of quarterbacks that can kick a guy out of a huddle. Ryan Tannehill, you're not one of them. Clearly, that list is Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, and Foles. Brooks Koepka, even your girlfriend was more interested in Tiger Woods. Dan, it's official. The Codys can drink and play golf. Mike Ryan, if his game only matched his clothes. Mid-range Mikey. Sam Darnold, not buying it. People everywhere, do me a favor. Stop telling me how good Sam Darnold is. The Jets should start Teddy Bridgewater. Least surprising headline of 2018 nominee. Maryland football coach DJ Durkin has the support of Will Muschamp. In a weird game where the question was, the coach in sports most likely to support another coach being accused of creating a toxic culture, wouldn't your answer be Will Muschamp? You go to a Mexican restaurant, Dan. They should give you free chips and salsa. It's like bread and butter. Charge me for it, and I got 2 words for you. Adios, amigos. Honest question. What happened there? Honest guy, seriously. I sit down there, chips, salsa, free.
All right. Or adios, amigo.
Or adios, amigo. I go to the next Mexican restaurant where it is free.
That's right.
Honest question. Was Maryland's football program toxic Before the death of Jordan McNair, Maryland accepted responsibility for the death of Jordan McNair. As opposed to what? There was a second option? LeGarrette Blount is a Lion. Fantasy players, Lions. Loaded backfield, stay away. Trevor Siemian is a Viking. Brandon Marshall is a Seahawk. Doug Martin is a Raider. Tom Savage is a Saint. Tom Savage's agent is still a dope. Geno Smith is a Charger. Cardell Jones is still playing football. Michael Thomas looks as good at sex as ever. Sam Bradford has a permanent blank stare and is a Cardinal. Jacksonville dress rehearsal, 17-6 Jags. Blake Bortles, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Every win they have this year will be 17-6, and Bortles will have 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Eric Ebron is a Colt. Jarvis Landry, 2.8 yards per catch, 4.8 words per second. Zip it up, man. Josh Gordon.
He does think he's
he
a lot
doesn't stop
better
talking.
than he is, man. He thinks he's a lot better than he is.
Unbelievable. Josh Gordon is the second most well put together person I've ever seen, just behind Israel Gutierrez. Rockies, -11. Dodgers, +121. Rockies, 71-59. Dodgers, 70-61. Baseball, Mike Ryan pulling out driver on a 130-yard par 3 and putting it on the green 3 yards from the cup is the greatest feat in the history of sports. Headline, when will Le'Veon show up? Dan, I think Le'Veon has made it pretty clear that Le'Veon is going to show up when Le'Veon is good and ready to show up. Want to know how good LeBron is? He knew he was going to play with Kawhi and KD in L.A. when he played for the Heat. Is there a less exciting quarterback in the history of football than Sam Bradford? Usually, when your team signs a new quarterback, fans get excited. When you tell your friend your team signed Sam Bradford, he or she literally has no reaction. Article on ESPN.com. 7 questions facing Alabama headed into the college football season. There's only one. Who will they play in this second semifinal? Dick Vitale firing everyone at the University of Miami with no facts after the Nevin Shapiro scandal. Then promoting a new book for friend Rick Pitino, who was fired for doing some of the same stuff that happened at the University of Miami. Dickie V. Oh, the Stugotz is strong in you. Want to know how you know your rookie quarterback is a bust? He can't beat out Nathan Peterman. For the love of God, I'm begging you, tuck that one hair into your visor, Doug Peterson. Kiko Alonso, I get it. You really don't want to be a Dolphin. A lot of people speculating if Kiko Alonso suffered from a concussion. Maybe he did. I think the more likely scenario is Kiko Alonso suffers from I don't want to be a Dolphin anymore-itis. Urban Meyer saying his medication affects his memory a few years removed from reciting every single play he called in a national championship game. Urban, the Stugotz is strong in you. Urban, for 3 games, you can get top bunk when you room with Art Briles in hell.
Oh!
Dan, those are the weekend observations.
Don Le Batard.
That movie was good, man. 300? Roy, are you disputing? Roy, I will fight you. At Le Batard Show, Guillermo, was 300 good?
Stugotz.
I'll argue 300 is the best action movie of all time.
Oh, get out of here.
Fight me.
Get out of here.
Fight me.
I'll fight you with Tango and Cash.
Don't at me.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I don't know the origins of the Say Hey Kid. I know that that's one of the most famous nicknames in the history of sports. I know that the nickname is largely dying throughout sports. But what is the origin of Say Hey? Do you know? Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Do you know what the origins of the Say Hey are in the Say Hey Kid?
I'm on it.
Not what I thought we'd be doing today, but regardless.
You agree, though, if Willie Mays says you're in, right?
I don't agree with that.
Well,
no.
you should.
No, I understand why you would say that. I have a blasphemous thought to throw your way with the last minute that we have in this segment as we botch these clocks today. We will get back on time in the next segment. We've got a Suey for you, another Suey for you in the next hour. If I took right now the best year of Shaq's life, an MVP year, and told you, go win with it in the modern NBA, can you? In the modern NBA where you're trading threes for twos, where Houston is doing, it's not because they've got the best players. They've just got the best players and are taking a ton of threes. Like, can Shaq win in the modern age? The best Shaq? I asked that question because I think it's a mind bleep.
No, he can't. I mean, the Warriors would sweep him.
But so I take Shaq in his prime, the most dominant thing you've ever seen, and I start a team with him, and you're like, that's not enough of a super team?
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be some long basketball seasons if nothing like that can topple him either.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Ricky always wanted to play baseball in the majors. He was playing catch before he could walk, practically lived in the batting cages. He was behind home plate more than he was home. And one day, after all that hard work, he found himself walking into a Major League Baseball stadium. After buying a ticket at the front gate, a nosebleed seat obscured by a pole, but he was in there. No, Ricky never did play in the big leagues, but he did switch his car insurance to Geico, proud partner of Major League Baseball, which saved him a lot. So, all in all, things were good.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. USC has named true freshman JT Daniels their starting quarterback. Red Wings captain Henrik Zetterberg has a back injury that could keep him out for not only for the entire upcoming season, but could also force him to retire. That's a bad injury. Henrik Zetterberg. Feel better. And finally, in 2012, 52% of Zurich citizens voted in favor of the government setting aside $2 million to build drive-in structures, which are referred to as sex boxes, in a discrete area. To operate the facilities each year, $800,000 is set aside for security and on-site social services. Previously, sex workers were mostly located at the city's riverfront area, but residents complained about the noise and traffic jams. These sex boxes opened in 2013. 5 years later, city officials have deemed the project a wild success. Hey, just a reminder, if doing your deck is on your to-do list this summer, put new Valspar stain on your shopping list. That way, you can get all-weather protection and more inspiring color. Valspar exterior stain only at Lowe's. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
The story's not very good on the Say Hey Kid. It's a bunch of gibberish. No one knows how the nickname actually started for Willie Mays. It's totally unclear, and all the stories stink. Okay. So I'm not going to give them to you. You can look them up on the Internet. But we have a very, very light rudder on this careening ship to nowhere. Ship is the word I said. Mm-hmm. It's a very light rudder. And it's largely Mike Ryan realizing that we've been bleeping around for 2 hours. And he's like, we got some sports. You got to give him some sports here. Give him some sports. And so I'm thinking to myself as he's doing this, well, do they want the social commentary? Do they want Michelle Beadle? And what are we allowed to say about Jamel Hill? That's the playground, right? Everybody loves to talk about the ESPN stuff. And then, then the president of the company is being quoted in the Washington Post. We're not talking politics, but we're talking about gender and race, and those things have become politics. And so I want to talk about that stuff. I don't know what's allowed here at the network. I don't know what rules or reports have gone out on what's allowed to be discussed on Michelle Beadle and Jamel Hill.
Well, Michelle Beadle has they announced that on Friday with press releases and the announcement of a new NBA postgame show. So that's been announced.
And the two things are tied together, right? Because she said that she was not going to watch football anymore. Are the things tied together? Forgive my ignorance here because I don't have all the details on this story.
I mean, many are left to assume that, but knowing how things work in television, these plans, these take time to develop. That would be an incredible amount, and ESPN certainly has a lot of resources, but for that to just happen over the span of a couple of days would be pretty unprecedented.
Okay, but the look is, it looks to people like she said she doesn't watch football, and next thing you know, she's off of Get Up. That's what it looks like to people, whether that's accurate or not. What can we say about the Jamel Hill thing? Nothing? It's quiet?
I was trying to push you to the Michelle Beadle stuff.
Okay.
So that means nothing.
No, Jamel's in town today. I haven't caught up with her. I don't know what's going on. I do know. I think some people would be surprised. I don't know. Well, all right. We'll get to it when we get to it. Because I wanted to talk about this Greg Cody hard network out that you hit him with this. I was told, I learned of this in Africa. Okay.
Really?
Yes. I was
traveled that far, huh?
I was in Africa, and there were a couple of Kenyans talking about how brutally you had gotten Greg Cody on the hard network out. Now, for those of you who have been around the show for a while, for years now, Greg Cody is a doddering knob. He's confused and oblivious all the time.
What station are we on in Africa?
And he, at the end of every hour, we always end the same time at the end of every hour. He's never figured out the clock. And so at this point in our careers, we just lead him into it, and then he's talking through the clock. He doesn't know what time it is. He doesn't know where he is. It is taking advantage of an old senile man more than anyone has in the history of the company. Second place goes to him. My father's first. It's just taking advantage of an old person. And so I was told while I was in Kenya, Dan, Stugotz got him better than anyone has ever gotten him on the hard network out. That Stugotz doesn't need you. Stugotz buried Greg Cody in the greatest hard network out of all time.
I'm not, I do need you. I'm not certain it's the best. I don't even know how we all feel about it because Chris was in on it. Chris knew, his son knew I was going to do what we eventually did.
We need to give some backstory to the people, okay? I'm not kidding you when I tell you that Stugotz got Greg Cody to the hospital. That while we were laughing on air about his coughing fits, 2 months of coughing it doesn't take a doctor to recognize this. It's your body saying something's really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Cody's still smoking 2 cigars at the same time and drinking beers in his garage. All of us were deeply worried about him. We couldn't even, Stugotz and I had to sort of convene to go stage the intervention that got him to a damn doctor because you can't be coughing on the air for 2 months. Cody spent the whole time trying to negotiate for $50 more on his contract. Wasn't listening to anybody.
I mean, I was more concerned for Greg's health than I am with my own health. You know, like I've never cared about anything that much in my life.
We were all worried about him, and so he was diagnosed with something. I don't want to give away the punchline, but Greg Cody was going to talk about this on the air in a way that was vulnerable and heartfelt because he was moved by people who were scared for him.
I asked him before the show, give me some things you want to talk about, and he said my medical scare. So I gave him the platform.
Yes, Greg Cody loves nothing more than to show you his privates in public so that everybody can click and he can get retweets. In fact, I feel like he milked the whole thing just so that he could get a lot of people to say how much they loved him. I'm not even sure he was sick. But Stugotz gets Cody to open up here with uncommon honesty in what is being described as the single best hard network out in the history of the show. Here is Greg Cody for the first time opening up about his private health travails to the national radio audience.
You finally went to the doctor, and the results of your visit to the doctor were what?
Yeah, after several tests, they found a tumor in my chest.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
Does not feel good.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That is the funniest thing I have ever heard. What a great comedic, awful sentence for Greg Cody to utter before getting clipped by the clock.
You finally went to the doctor, and the results of your visit to the doctor were what?
Yeah, after several tests, they found a tumor in my chest.
That is musically, comedically perfect. I'm going to tell you why as we hyper-examine it. I want you to listen to the faux concern in an insincere Stugotz's voice.
You noticed.
And as Cody sits here and he's trying to give off somber fear.
You finally went to the doctor, and the results of your visit to the doctor were what?
Yeah, after several tests, they found a tumor in my chest.
Now, we should probably mention that it's benign, because this becomes less funny if it's not, right? You need the happy ending. You should see on our television show the calamities and crashes that we show, and we're like, we think they're okay. We may have just televised Faces of Death.
Greg is okay. He announced that later. He played golf this Saturday. He's fine. He is absolutely fine. He actually, I got to be honest, Greg is a great sport. We went to break, and I was terrified because it felt bad on air. It felt bad when we were doing it live. Greg left. Greg went to break and said, man, you got me good, and then started laughing about it. So credit to Greg.
So you feel better about the evil that you wrought?
Yes.
Because it was like you understand that what you did was something that is worthy of bunking with Art Bryant.
I am well aware.
Okay.
Man, my fate is already sealed, man. I'll be saying hi to Art at some point.
All right. It's nice that he forgives you. What you did was realms beyond despicable and evil.
Don Le Batard.
Creepy as F.
Stugotz.
I had a cat, Schmitty. He died.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
What we're doing today is our award show. We're looking at the last year. We pride ourselves on sinking into the most uncomfortable of moments, whether we're mocking a friend's tumor or, well, listen for yourself.
And now, the Suey nominees for Uncomfortable Moment. Dan emotionally talks about John Skipper.
The president of ESPN has resigned, and sent out a statement, and, I'm sorry. I just want to know that he's okay.
Take your time, buddy.
Yeah. So I'm just learning of this now, okay? And this is this is the reason that I work here. And so I don't know what's coming. I don't know what this is, but I know I look like it and sound like a fool right now. But I want you to understand something, and I don't know what's coming. I haven't talked to him, so I don't know how he's doing. And I care about him, but just so that you understand, this person has created everything that exists here at ESPN for us. And he did it because of how he cares about minorities and their causes. And so I'm just sort of shocked and hurt, and I am sorry I'm reacting this way, and I don't know what damage I'm doing in reacting this way, but so that's straight talk. So that's where we are.
All right, that is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G
Perhaps we could have done that better.
network.
Admittedly, perhaps we could have done that better.
Let it breathe just a little bit.
What am I supposed to do
but
there?
it can't all be content. It can't all be content. My vulnerabilities, they're out in front of you. You can't be trusted with them. They can't be sponsored.
Tim Kirchin yells at us.
And by the way, Pete Maravich is the flashiest player of all time. I heard you guys earlier. When I was a kid, I watched him stand at the top of the key and throw a behind-the-back pass off the backboard, and he threw it with such force it bounced back to him in the air at the top of the key, and then he did it with his left hand.
Wow.
20 years ago when I covered basketball, when I covered basketball for like a month, 20 years ago, Isaiah Thomas told me Pete Maravich.
Tim, please calm down.
Seriously.
Like you saying in that rage, no,
I feel
you
threatened.
saying I'm talking is the cruelest, meanest thing anyone has ever said to me. I am disoriented.
I've never heard you like
I'm
this.
talking about a play from 50 years ago, Dan. Shut up.
You brought it up. I was just trying to add something to the show.
Calm down. Why are you always yelling at me? You're Rich Incognito. We are sorry. Can we all apologize, please, to
Sorry,
Tim Kirchin?
Tim.
All of
Sorry.
us. Tim, we're so sorry. Terry, sorry, Tim.
I love you, and I'm sorry, Tim.
Sorry, you were talking. I'm talking.
I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Really, I shouldn't have done that.
Dan curses during Dunk Levitard.
I have to talk to you. No, anything that you say is going over the air. So that whole...
If we're going to entertain people, why wouldn't we entertain people?
Okay.
That wasn't impressive at all.
No, it really wasn't. Well, something impressive happened.
Wouldn't it now be funny to have a private conversation that I don't know is on air about me just cursing by accident?
No big cats in Hawaii.
Wouldn't that be a good thing to do right now?
See, the whole thing about that is you can't really claim ignorance because we sort of talked it out. No snakes in Hawaii either.
Yeah, that's problematic. But would it be funny to talk about whether or not they could dump it?
They can't.
Rich Eisen owns Stugotz.
Either you threw in an unnamed MLB executive source to your story to make it even more credible than it already is, or you just simply stole the idea.
Well, let me just walk you through my thought process as a professional and a human being on planet Earth. I've got 3 kids, all under the age of 10. My 4-year-old was up last night with a stomach bug. That was fun, right around midnight. About 2 hours.
So you're tired. A lot of responsibility.
No. And then, I got a 3-hour show today with a handful of guests.
Right.
Got to get ready for that. I've got a binder from NFL Network Research as thick as the Manhattan phone book to date myself with that reference for next week's scouting combine. 4 hours of 4 days of about 8 hours of coverage each one of those days. And then I wake up every day saying, how can I steal one of Stugotz's ideas?
Right.
And that's part of my
Rich, it seems like
daily routine.
Right.
That's part of my daily routine.
But it seems like
Hold on a minute. How can I steal one of Stugotz's ideas that's 3 years old and isn't really similar, completely similar to what I posited as a professional based on what an actual real-life human being, part of Major League Baseball.
Right. But it seems like you're so busy with kids and the NFL Network playbook that you would need my opinions. Yeah, it would seem
you
like
would be lazy.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
I don't blame you. Well, I do, but I don't blame you.
And then on top of all that, how long have you been with ESPN, Stugotz?
I've been here, I think, 3 or 4 years now. 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
You do a resume thing? Is that what we're going here? You stole my take, Rich.
Right. No. So if you double those years, that's how long I was at ESPN. And if you take those years and multiply it by about a factor of 4, that's how long I've been gone. So you put all that together and know the fact that we're on ESPN radio right now.
Yes.
And the first ever voice in the history of MLB on ESPN radio was my voice.
Woo!
I even have rank on top of accuracy.
Bona fides unfurled like a screed, like a manifesto. What is one of those things? That was unbelievable. The ego and all of that.
Yes,
isn't that great? Well, sort of humble, I think. It's a slight bit of humility. I'm still a dad. I'm still a dad first and foremost.
It's quite the resume for a thief, I got to be honest.
Stugotz tells Dan something uncomfortable.
The NFL suspended Pittsburgh Steelers starting right tackle Marcus Gilbert 4 games for violating the league policy against performance-enhancing substances. And finally, 6-check tourist. Strap it on here, Dan. I'm going to take you for a ride. Strap yourself in is what I meant. Not strap it on.
Strap what on?
I meant strap yourself in here, Dan.
Strap it on.
Listen, it was a poor choice of words, poor phrasing, but I meant strap in because there are several big words coming up in this last story. Don't strap anything on.
The entire Rob Manfred interview.
Rob, were you aware of Jeter's plan to trade players and slash payroll?
It's interesting.
Yes or no, please?
Don't.
Yes or no, please?
I'm happy to do yes or no's.
You can elaborate afterward. I just want to know if you were aware of that plan. Like did you approve a plan that had slash payroll again for South Florida?
We do not approve operating decisions by any ownership, new owners, current owners, or not. And as a result, the answer to that question is no. I'm not going to be deposed like this is some adversary thing. You want to ask me questions, I'll answer them the way that I want to answer them.
Okay, but
if that's not
fine.
good enough, we can move on.
Who is Bruce Sherman? Who is he, and why was he approved? Because all the bids came in low on cash.
That's actually not true. I mean, I know you keep saying these things on the radio, but you have no idea what the cash was in this deal. The fact of the matter is, this club, after the transaction, had the same amount of debt as it had pre-transaction.
Rob, I know that part. The reason I interrupt you is because I think you cared more about that $1.2 billion asking price than you did about the fans of South Florida.
Yeah, well, can I tell you something?
you actually have no idea what I care about and don't care about. The fact of the matter is, a competitive club in each one of our 30 markets is my foremost concern.
Rob, you got a problem here now, though, because you're not going to have many fans. They want to get the revenue up. They're not going to be able to get the revenue up because of the hostility in this market, because this has happened 4 times.
I believe that they are committed to winning, and, it's going to take some time to see who's right about it.
All right. Yeah, I don't. I believe they're committed to making money, and I believe you've made it very easy for them to make money whether they have fans or not. And I don't know that that's refutable.
Let me be really clear about that. If you believe it's easy to make money in South Florida with Major League Baseball, you are really dramatically ill-informed.
I know, but I don't understand. The stadium was supposed to. Yeah, Jeffrey Loria just made $1.2 million, and he bought in for $10 million.
He made over $1 billion, Commissioner.
All right, we got to go. I'm sorry, Commissioner. We're 10 minutes past time. Thank you I appreciate you being respectful. Thank you, sir.
All right, bye.
Dan throws up on TV.
He is now eating it out of my hand like a grazing animal of some sort. Oh, God, that one almost made me gag. He just picked up a saliva.
Oh, doing.
I got a weak stomach, man.
Tear me off half of that, Stu. I want to get involved.
Oh, no.
There's no way you can do it. The fact that you're holding it.
I think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. If he eats out of if he eats it out of your mouth, I will vomit. If you want me to vomit on ESPNU right now, historically, we got a minute left. I'm not kidding.
There you go.
That was brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless.
Don Batard. Game day bucket, go boom! Stugotz.
I do like that idea, Greedy. I like the idea. I have a friend named Goldie. I called you Goldie.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your Sports Center update. USC has named true freshman J.T. Daniels their starting quarterback. College football starting this weekend, Mike. Oh, my God. The greatest opening weekend in the history of college football, too. Miami, LSU, Notre Dame, Michigan. It's another big game in there somewhere.
FAU, Oklahoma. Oh, yeah. We got Virginia Tech, Florida State, Alabama, Louisville.
Yes. There's another big game, though, that we're leaving out. The biggest game of the weekend. Oh, I'll find it. I will find it. Dan, you excited? Auburn and Washington playing game.
Monster.
How about that?
FIU, Indiana.
Yes. But rare is the season where you have a week 1 playing game. How about that?
Did you just say yes to FIU, Indiana?
That's a big one. Butch Davis.
Name another human being playing in that game. Name another human on the sidelines.
I didn't name one yet. Butch isn't playing.
No, give me the name of one person who will be in the stadium for that big game between FIU and Illinois or Indiana. Excuse me. That's it.
I'll leave you alone on the fine. Illinois, Indiana, fine. Kenny Dorsey.
All right. He's one of the assistant coaches for Butch, is he?
Assistant AD.
All right.
How about that? You want a player?
You have a huge thing in your teeth right now. So
I know, yeah. I was eating a chicken parm during the break. It's delicious. Feel free. You want to take a bite?
Strap it on.
Yeah. Red Wings captain Henrik Zetterberg has a back injury that could keep him out, not only for the entire upcoming season, but could also force him to retire. And finally, after threatening to take Tesla private, Elon Musk met with the Tesla board of directors, and collectively, the decision was made to keep Tesla as a public company because their shareholders believe the company is better off as a public company.
There's nothing going on here. Trust me. I've got it all under control. I'm Elon Musk.
Hey, just a reminder, if doing your deck is on your to-do list this summer, put new Valspar stain on your shopping list. That way you can get all weather protection and more inspiring color. Valspar exterior stain only at Lowe's. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
From Darren Ravel, Stugotz, I don't know if this is surprising to you or not, but basketball does a very good job of allowing its personalities to be personalities, even when they're petty. Football doesn't do a very good job of that. And Instagram, NBA, how many followers do you think is the difference between the NBA and the NFL in Instagram followers?
Oh, I would say the NFL has the NBA by maybe, 2 or 3 million.
The NBA has 30 million Instagram followers, according to Darren Ravel. The NFL has 11.5. So basketball is 3 times as large as football. And the reason is because they allow their personalities to be personalities. And these guys. You know you're going to watch football on Sunday and be excited that Sunday is back. And most of the names of the players on the other team are not going to be things that you necessarily know. Like
right.
College football.
Sure.
You're not going to know many. You're going to know, I don't know, even if you're an ardent football fan, you're going to know your team.
Dan, Washington is playing Auburn. I just said it's a week 1 playing game. I'm not certain I can name a single player in that game. That's number 6 versus number 9.
Now, a lot of people could. You're not the barometer. You're not the barometer on this because you're not. We're watching gambling and uniforms running down the field, and Nick Saban's team is going to be good. But one of the things that I wanted to tell you about their Instagram following is: have you guys been watching how Carmelo is behaving in the comment section? He's just going in there and telling people, bleep you, without the bleep. Carmelo is just trolling through the Instagram. People say bad things about him. Carmelo is there to tell you to go bleep yourself. Right? They're not.
Well, he's not coming off as defensive or anything.
They're not exactly doing that in football. I love this reincarnation of Carmelo where he laughs at you when you ask him about going to the bench.
Maybe he can reincarnate his game. How's that sound? You love this reincarnation of Carmelo Anthony? He plays worse and talks more. He's annoying. I mean, get out of here. Rockets, enjoy that. Daryl Morey, big mistake. I tried to tell him. Why, you like that he's just letting it fly? Carmelo, I did. I texted Daryl Morey, told him it was a bad signing.
Did you really? Did you really?
I really did, yeah. I sent a bunch of stats and everything. I said, listen, you're all about ball movement. I'll tell you right now. Wait till it gets to Carmelo's hand. It will stop moving. It will cease to move.
Wouldn't you guys prefer your athletes? This happened with Tom Brady, okay? Tom Brady at 40 has realized, man, I don't have to put up with any of this bleep. I don't have to be this perfect quarterbacking antiseptic figure who never says or does anything. I could say what I want. I'm going to do Facebook diaries with Chopra's kid. I'm gonna show everyone what my life really is. Today he was asked on was it WEEI, Mike? He was asked about Alex Guerrero, that doctor who's not a doctor, who now the Patriots have had to fly around with the team again because Tom Brady's flexing on everyone in the organization and he's saying do something. One of you do something. And now he's just hanging up on fools.
So we saw the reports this weekend that Alex was on the team plane, which he wasn't for the second half of last year, I guess, and not on the sideline. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he was with me this last week, so it was, yeah.
So what changed in him not being on the team plane last year and this year? Was that just communication back and forth, or was that an understanding of other things? What led to that being able to happen this year?
I'm not getting into all that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, when I ran into him at the Super Bowl last year in Minneapolis, I remember talking to you about it at the time. When I talked to him there, he had said in his opinion that all this stuff had been overblown. That he and Belichick actually had a pretty good relationship even then. Would you say that was true?
I said I don't want to get into it.
Okay, go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, I mean everyone knows it's well documented how. The work that he and I do together.
No, I know. I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out, because I saw the reports this weekend that he's traveling with the team. Was he on the sideline on Friday?
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.
How great is that? Those are reasonable questions.
Oh, very fair questions, yes. But that's how you can act. That's why Brady got Garoppolo out of there. I mean, go ahead, be mad at me, sit me, go ahead, Guerrero, and I will quit because you know who's sitting behind me? Brian Hoyer. Those are the things. That's the way you can act when Brian Hoyer is next in line. Seriously. You could do whatever you want. I'm telling you. You could do, if you want a license to do and say whatever you want, just make sure the guy that's replacing you is Brian Hoyer.
Guillermo, put it up on the poll. Is Brian Hoyer the only license you need? to do whatever it is that you want in life if he's the one replacing you.
Ponte los patines. Time for some ads.
That we're going to look back on what we're going to look back very confused at one point in history when we're like, wait a minute, the Patriots traded the young stud and the coach did it for less than he should have gotten. And that young stud went to San Francisco and became the highest paid player in the sport with 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And Belichick gave him away. Why? Because that right there, that Tom Brady's now bleep you. I hang up on you, whether you're Belichick or whether you're the Boston Boop.
You can listen to the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and you can watch on ESPN News.